In today's video, guys, you're going to find out whether or not the knockout blow has been served to the Las Vegas real estate market. Stay tuned. What's going on, my YouTube friends? This is Jerry Abbott, your local Las Vegas realtor, out here on another beautiful fall sunny day here in Las Vegas. Hey, before we dive into the video, guys, I just want to let you know, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to learn everything there is to know about the Las Vegas real estate market, then definitely subscribe to this channel and give me a thumbs up like. That would really help the channel out. And guys, just remember, if you're thinking about moving to Las Vegas, I'm your guy. I'm a local realtor here. I've lived here for nearly 20 years. I know every inch of this city. Just call, text, or email me anytime and I'll help you find that perfect dream home. Now let's dive into the video. Okay, what I want to do, guys, first is I want to give you guys a quick little geography lesson about Las Vegas, because a lot of people ask me about moving here and they don't really know the layout of how the city looks. So I want you to take a look at this brief video that I put together just to show you the structure and how the layout of Las Vegas looks, and then we'll come back to the video and we'll get into more detail. I want you to just take a look at the basic layout of the Las Vegas map. I'm going to put my little pointer right up in here. Next to this little box is the airplane picture. That's where you land in Las Vegas, okay? And then right next to that, I'm going to cover up the plane. This little yellow strip is the world famous Las Vegas Strip that millions of people come to visit every single year. Okay, but what I want to show you is this. You have different quadrants of the city. You've got the southeast area, Green Valley, Henderson. Then you've got the southwest area. Then you have Summerlin up here, which is the main western area quadrant. And then you have the eastern side over here. Now you also have a highway that runs from north to south. All the way down here is California, and all the way back up there is towards Utah. We also have a really great new highway system that's been put in over the years that's been very much upgraded, called the 215. This highway is a 4-lane major highway that circles basically the entire circumference of the valley. So I want you to just get an idea of the layout of the entire city. Okay, so I hope that gives you a little bit of a better understanding of how the look of Las Vegas is. You can obviously see that there's more to Las Vegas than the world famous Las Vegas Strip. There's a lot of suburban communities here, a lot of gorgeous areas to live in Las Vegas. So let's take a little bit of a further dive now into the sales aspects of what's been going on in the real estate market here in Las Vegas. So take a look at this on-screen graphic here. This statistic shows you that the month of October for 2021 has dropped just a little bit from October of 2020. This is the first time in a year that the sales have dropped down a little bit in Las Vegas. Now, that doesn't really mean too much, but you can see that it's at least calming down a little bit, and it's not as much of a feeding frenzy as it was before. So statistics are now showing that it's at least kind of leveling out or calming down a little bit compared to like a year ago. So we're not as bad as we were back in the summer when we were at a peak level. So the statistics are definitely dropping just a little bit. So that's a good thing for the market for incoming buyers to the city of Las Vegas. The next graphic I want you guys to take a look at on screen here is the price appreciation in Las Vegas for home sales in the last year. So what I want you guys to see is right here at the bottom left, you can see that the average price a year ago was about $340,000. Now you can see with the arrow that I pushed up to the top right, you can see the average price point right now for the median home sale here in Las Vegas is $410,000. So you can see a very significant price appreciation, well over 20%, usually 25% in most areas. So the market has really gone up significantly in the past year. So I want you guys to at least get an understanding of what's happened in the past year just from a price appreciation standpoint. All right, so the next big thing that I want to talk to you guys about is the foreclosure market in Las Vegas. Now, foreclosures are a little bit tricky because we just are pretty much coming out of this whole pandemic time where there was a moratorium on people paying rent and having a lot of financial issues because a lot of people had lost their jobs. So a lot of people also obviously fell behind on their home payments as well. So what happened is, if you take a look at this graphic here, you can see that Las Vegas leads the country in the potential serious delinquency issues for foreclosures. Now, that doesn't mean that people are going to be foreclosed on and they're going to lose their homes, because there's a lot of options here now. In the foreclosure market, a lot of times because of the price appreciation that's happened here in Las Vegas, a lot of people, if push comes to shove, they can sell their home and they can get out of that situation for themselves if they really want to. And a lot of times too, with foreclosures, there's mediation processes, which means a lot of times people are not going to be kicked out of their homes because of what you think, because they've missed some payments. So the foreclosure market, even though Las Vegas leads the country in that, it's not necessarily a very bad thing, but it is definitely a concern right now. All right, so the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is interest rates. Now, interest rates have been at record low levels for a very long time. They're going to continue to stay there. The Fed cannot raise rates. They can't afford to do it. So rates are going to stay low. And if they do raise rates, it probably would be minimal. And it probably would take at least another year or half a year for them to even start thinking about inching up a little bit on the interest rates. So low interest rates means people get to borrow money at a much cheaper rate, which keeps their mortgage payments lower. That's what's been a big driver of the Las Vegas real estate market and the entire national real estate market. I don't see that changing anytime soon, so that's a good thing, especially for first-time home buyers. All right, so the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is inflation. Inflation is completely out of control, as I'm sure you can feel that in your pocketbooks when you go to the grocery store to buy groceries, when you go and buy clothing, when you buy a car, when you buy a house. Everything costs more money now. We're at 31-year highs. We're at 6.2%, which is the highest, obviously, in 31 years. It's ridiculous, and it's not going away anytime soon. And the reason that translates here to the Las Vegas real estate market and just the real estate market in general is that lumber costs are up, steel costs are up, chlorine for your swimming pool is up, which means that gets then transferred over to the consumer, and the consumer is paying a lot more money. So inflation has been a very big problem for people because the middle class people and even the lower class people are being cut out of most of the market because it's so out of control. So one of the other issues that's tied to big inflation issues is the fact that it's cutting out people that have not too much money to purchase a home. So what's happening now is you have a lot of investors, hedge funds, pension companies that are using endless amounts of money to buy a lot of homes in neighborhoods like the one I'm standing in right now. And what that does is it allows them to park their money and get a good return on their money because they're not getting that from interest rates. And because inflation is out of control, they need to be able to make money on their money. So what they're doing is they're buying up homes in neighborhoods, they're renting them out to regular people, and they're making a good yield on their money for their hedge funds or their pension funds. And that's allowing them to get a leg up on the average home buyer because the home buyer can't compete with some of these people or these companies that have a lot of deep pockets. Okay, guys, so let's tie this all together. Hang on one second. The sun's out, and the sun is always out in Vegas, so I got to put on the shades. Okay, we have low interest rates, which is great for the average home buyer because it allows them to get a mortgage at an affordable price. Now, here's the problem. We have high inflation. High inflation has caused everything to go up, from food to clothing to cars to homes. The problem is that what has been happening to the average home buyer is they're now competing with a lot of investors. They're competing with hedge funds, pension funds, private equity companies that are buying up a lot of real estate because they have a lot of money. And they're squeezing out the average home buyer because they have the ability to buy these homes, rent them out, and make a good return on their money. The other thing that's particularly true of Las Vegas is international travel has opened back up. And a lot of international travelers fall in love with Las Vegas. And because of that, they do kind of like an impulse buy. They want to buy property here. So now you've got the other contributing factor with international travelers coming here to buy properties. So that's also been an issue as to why the market has been so competitive and such a feeding frenzy for homes here in Las Vegas. Okay, so the big question right now is, should you buy a home in Las Vegas or should you wait? Now, I've had this debate with a lot of people in the past year, and everyone's got a different opinion on it. A lot of people thought the market was going to crash, and they sat on the sidelines. And unfortunately, not only did the market not crash for those people, but prices went up 25% across the board. So if you were looking to buy a home at $300,000 a year ago, that home is now going to cost you roughly $375,000. That is because the inflationary aspects, the competition here, it's all building up to the point where real estate prices are going to continue to go up, just like gas prices, just like food prices. Inflation is not transitory, and that includes real estate. Prices are not going to go down anytime soon, and I know the inventory has been limited. Like I said earlier in the video, we're competing with investors and hedge funds and all these companies, but for just over $400,000 as an average price point in Las Vegas, you really can't beat that. I mean, Vegas has it all. We've got the great weather. We've got incredible entertainment and people watching on the world famous Las Vegas Strip. We've got gorgeous mountains that you can go to and the gorgeous lake that you can go water skiing on. It's an incredible place to live. And so a lot of people love Vegas, and that's what's been pushing up real estate prices. I do not believe prices are going down. If you have the ability to buy now, this is the time to do it, in my opinion. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. If you're thinking about relocating to Las Vegas, I've got your back. I'm a local realtor here. I've lived here for nearly 20 years. I absolutely love it here. feel free to reach out to me anytime. Just call, text, or email me, and I'll be happy to help you find that perfect dream home. See you guys in the next video.